Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectMeWithTiffany. Welcome to the podcast and posse, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. I'm your host, Tiffany, and we're going to get into it today. You're going to get a Tiff rant, you guys, but it's a much needed one that's going to light you up. Like, you're going to feel like you had a really strong cup of coffee or some form of a street drug after it. So why you aren't making the money you want to make. All right, here's the deal, you guys. You're not making the money you want to make. It is not going to be primarily about something you're doing wrong, some kind of strategy. You don't have an email list. You don't know how to communicate with your boss. Are those all factors? Absolutely. Without a doubt, those are factors. But the primary issue with 99.9% of people that I've worked with, and I have coached thousands of people in my career, I've employed hundreds of people, I've hired people, I've fired people. It all comes down to mindset and self-worth and the shit that you tell yourself. The shit you tell yourself that maybe people don't know you tell yourself. The stuff you tell yourself when no one's around, when you look in the mirror, when you get bills in the mail. This is really what it comes down to. I'm not the first person you've probably heard this from, but I guarantee you've not heard it in the way that I'm sharing it with you today. I hope and pray that what you get out of this is it's like a wake up and you can really hear me, and I'm sharing it with you in a way that's maybe more understandable, because I know my style obviously resonates with you or you wouldn't be listening. And I'm going to give you, a crazy analogy or two that'll help you really, really get it. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, you guys. Remember, I lost almost everything that I had earned and saved when I was 30 years old. It was almost $1 million. I lost it in 3 months. I didn't lose it because of lack of drive, motivation, skill, strategy, tenacity, work ethic. It was all because of my lack of self-worth and feeling so uncomfortable having that level of money. The lies I told myself in my head, trusting the wrong people because I didn't trust myself, because who the hell am I? I'm really an idiot underneath it all. I'm kind of a fraud. Like, I don't really even know what I'm doing. I don't even know how I made this money. Like, there's so many people who are more talented than me, who have, high end degrees, who went to Harvard, who are doing what I'm doing. So it's like, who am I? I'm lucky to even be getting paid. That's the kind of stuff I told myself. Now, it might not have been every day, but those beliefs were within me. I had no idea how those were showing up in my life. So here's how they showed up. I didn't negotiate my prices for my services. I took what I could get. So the other person would negotiate with me and I would be like, I better just take it because something's better than nothing. Or they wanted a lower price than what I stated, and I would give it to them. And they would get me down pretty low to where sometimes I was just even breaking even because I felt like I had to take it. I also got bullied by a lot of clients, and I'm talking corporate clients. I got bullied by a lot of clients. What I mean by that is I had, and usually, well, not usually, all the time, they were, powerful men, big egos, kind of pounding their chest. And, I was a woman. I still am a woman in a highly male dominated field in that business. But even more so at that time was, major, and I was younger too. And they would bully me, and you can't be bullied unless you are able to be bullied, if that makes sense. So even when I was bullied in middle school, which is horrible, and I'm a kid and I don't blame myself for it, but I was bullied because I was susceptible to being bullied because I was being emotionally abused and physically abused at home. So I was an easy target. So then, yes, so what? I'm, so to speak, a grown up in the business world. I was getting bullied and pushed around in my business life. Even as, an employee, the same thing was happening because I was susceptible, because my self-worth and self-confidence was low. On the outside, though, you wouldn't have known that. I made sure I stood up tall. I acted the part, but really underneath, it was all a mess. So you aren't making the money you want to be making because there's a part of you that doesn't feel like you deserve it, like you're worthy. Like, why should someone hire me? There's other people who have 10 times the amount of followers. Or there's someone, if you're in fitness, someone has better abs. Someone's been on a cover of a magazine. They could hire that person and not me. This person has more money. They could hire that person and not me. I didn't make as many sales or, do as well on this project. So therefore, I shouldn't ask for a raise because I could have done better, right? There is this underlying belief that you're not good enough, you're not worthy of it, that someone else is more worthy of you. That's the truth. When I peel back the layers, when someone's sales have gone in the toilet, when they're not making consistent cash, they're not making the money they want to make, or maybe they were on top and they fell from grace. I mean, hello. Look at what happened with Tiger Woods, right? You can be at the top and fall from grace. I had $1 million in the bank at 30, literally $1 million in the bank at 30 years old. I had a luxury townhouse in Los Angeles, which is incredibly expensive, by the way. I had 2 cars. I was traveling, first class, 5-star, VIP Coachella, yada, 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 all the top restaurants, the bags, the whole thing. And yet I really didn't feel worthy of any of it. I felt really uncomfortable. I felt like it was a fluke. And look what happened. In 3 months, it was almost all gone. Look how quick in just a few decisions, poor decisions, did Tiger Woods ruin his whole career for many, many years, sponsorship deals, and now he is, slowly coming back. Look at even like a Lamar Odom. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was married to Khloe Kardashian, and look at what happened with him. He sabotaged from being, an addict. He sabotaged his career with the Lakers. He sabotaged his marriage. He sabotaged all of it. He almost died. This is all from a belief that we're really not worthy of this, or that we have this, even if you've attained it, it's not sustainable. It's a fluke. And if you've never gotten, ahead and you're still in a mountain of debt, or every time you get ahead, you slide back, you're at that financial set point because there is a part of you that feels that's your lot in life and you're not going to get any further than that. Now, you might have days where you're like, I'm amazing. I'm going to be on the cover of Forbes. And that might last a day or two. And then it goes back to, God, who am I? You know, you're scrolling on Instagram. It's like, who am I? Look at this person. This person's so much further ahead. I should have started sooner. I'm too young. I'm too old. I live in bumfuck. I don't live in America. You have to live in America to do this. You have to live in Southern California to do this. These are all lies that we all tell ourselves. And until you start exploring those and getting really honest with yourself, it's going to keep happening. What I notice happens with people is it's so much more comfortable to focus on downloading free guides on how to build your email list, or what are the right hashtags, the right posting time, what are the right things to say. It's so much easier to focus on those things that are in your head. I call them the above the neck things, the intellectual things, figuring it out. There isn't much feeling about it. We're not really having to reflect and look at ourselves and our childhoods and our wounds and our worth, and we were bullied, or maybe we're currently in a shitty relationship and how that's affected us. That's far more painful to explore and look at. It's like almost like, not almost, it's opening Pandora's box. You start pulling one thing out, now more comes out. It's not cute. It's messy as hell. It's messy as hell, but if you want to get to where I know you want to get to, you have to do that work that's below the neck. There is not going to be any strategy that is going to outwork a mindset that is based on low self-worth, low self-esteem. Even mid-size self-worth, mid-size self-esteem. We could have the key to the Instagram algorithm, and you could sabotage that away, right? You could have a natural, amazing knack for golf and have been trained since you were a child and born and bred for it like Tiger Woods, and lose it all. That's my point when I say you can't out-strategize a crap mindset or even a mediocre mindset. It'll come to bite you in the ass again and again and again in every area of your life, and for sure financially, without a doubt. There is a direct correlation to how much I have in the bank to where my level of self-worth and self-respect and genuine confidence, not that fake inflated confidence that I had most of my life, like genuine grounding confidence where I know who I am, I know who I'm not, I know who I'm here to serve, I know the gifts that I have, I know I'm worthy of being compensated highly for those things. I'm proud of myself. I mean, you guys, I didn't have any of this even 5 years ago. So you can have this, but the catch is, and I always like telling you guys what the catch is to things, because there's a catch to everything. There's a catch to doing nothing. Doing nothing, the catch is nothing changes, nothing happens. The catch here to doing something different and focusing below the neck, so to speak, right? Focusing on that inner child, those old wounds that are in there, where these beliefs came from, and exploring them, first identifying them and exploring them and healing them. Whew. It is gut-wrenching, painful, exhausting work, but the magic that appears on the other side of it is the most beautiful, life-altering, gratifying thing that I have ever experienced in my life. And when I take other people through it, when I take private clients through it, and I witness that, I mean, I'm crying right there with them, like tears of joy. It is the most beautiful thing to witness. The breakthroughs, what happens. I've seen people finally finish a book that they've been writing for years, and they finally finished it. I've seen people who went from being tens of thousands in debt to debt free, and now they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And no, this wasn't in 30 days, right? This wasn't in 30 days. But it doesn't have to be in 5 years either. I waited a long time because I'm stubborn as fuck. Hello, hashtag Virgo life. I was stubborn also because I kept getting proof of concept that my life sort of worked because I was able to make so much money. It was hard for me to want to see a different way because I had so much evidence that how I was living was working, but it wasn't. And that's why it was such a pivotal moment when I lost everything, almost everything. It was such a pivotal moment because then I couldn't deny it anymore. That's why big, big, painful things happen in our lives. We don't listen to the whispers. We don't listen to the conversations. We don't even listen when God is yelling. So then what happens? Well, we'll flatline your ass with a health issue, with a death, with a car accident. We'll hit you financially. We'll hit you with a spouse cheating, or a long-time friendship betrayal, or we'll just do it all at once to you and have you on your knees going, oh my God, help me, to finally get that help that you need. And we all need it. We all need this healing. There's very few people that just are blessed with a really high vibe, healthy money, mental hygiene, and self-worth hygiene. There's a very small percentage of people who grew up in that. And I know some people who grew up in that, and you can see what their lives look like as a result. They don't have nearly as much drama. It's not like bad things don't happen to them, but they don't have as much drama. They've had a pretty even path in terms of success. And that's beautiful for them. I used to resent people like that because I was jealous. I wanted that for myself, and I didn't know that was possible. But it is possible for all of you, but you have to be willing to do that work. So stop agonizing over strategy and hashtags and timing and should I quit my job and should I leave this person and maybe I should be in a different career. Maybe I should leave this network marketing company. This one isn't working. Maybe I should go into real estate. Just stop. If you've been trying all these things and nothing's working and you're spinning your wheels, put all that excess energy into really having someone help you uncover what's below all of this. Because if your life is looking a mess, and whether people can see it or not, right? Like I told you, people couldn't necessarily tell mine. People couldn't tell Tiger Woods' life was a mess until his wife was chasing him with a golf club and like beat the car. I think that's what happened, right? He had many mistresses with no one knowing, the press, no one knew about it for many years, right? And on the outside, he looked amazing. So did I. I looked pretty damn shiny on the outside too, but it was a lie. And I knew it was a lie. And so when we have that low vibe going on, you can't fake it. And believe me, I got as good as you could at faking it because I didn't think there was another way. And it was exhausting. It damn near killed me. I was always sick. Like every 5 weeks anytime I got like a little cold, it was a sinus infection. And it was every 5 to 6 weeks. Because I was so tired of keeping up that front. It's exhausting. And now I can just show up as me, and that's enough. Weird, quirky, swearing, talking about God, using crazy analogies, picking my nose on live Instagram TV videos. If any of you watch that, it's like, well, I wasn't going to stop talking. I mean, there was a booger. What are you going to do? We all have boogers. It's fine, right? Here's an analogy I want to leave you with. And I heard it, I don't remember who I heard it from. It was many, many years ago, but it really got me thinking. It was someone who was into this whole home health hygiene and all this stuff. And it was talking about like your house and the areas of your house that are cluttered, that are messy, that are dirty, or rooms you avoid are a really good indicator of areas of your own life and of your mind that you avoid. I thought that was really interesting. And it's a correlation of your self-worth. So if you have, whether you're renting a room from someone, you're living in your parents' house still and you're in a room, or you have a house, a big house, a small house, an apartment, a trailer, whatever it is, and that shit's messy, that doesn't surprise me. And I bet your bank account sucks, and I bet your life's messy and you're messy. That's a direct sign of low self-worth. Meaning if it's dirty. I'm not saying you have to be meticulous and that means you have high self-worth, but you know what I'm saying. You've watched the show Hoarders. That's a true, actual mental, a disease, but that does come from low self-worth. So look at some of the areas in your life, like your office space. Is it a hot mess? Do you have a closet that you stuff a ton of shit in? And it's like, why do you just keep stuffing stuff in that closet? Do you do that in your own brain where all the shit that's happened to you kind of just try to compartmentalize it and stuff it away? Is the space that you get ready for your day in the morning a disaster area? So that's one of the first things you see when you wake up in the morning is a messy, dirty, chaotic bathroom or bathroom countertop. Like, no, that's not good. So I want to leave you with that because I remember when I heard that, and at that time, why it got my attention is Mike would call me a neat freak. I'm not. I know neat freaks, but I like things to be clean. I definitely don't like dirt and dust and germs. But I don't have everything in like perfect order. I just don't. But it's certainly, you come to my house, you're like, okay, this is very clean. This is organized, whatever. But when I first heard this and I was in my townhouse, every room of my house was nice, was clean, was organized, except for my office. It was a shit show. I didn't know where anything was. I would scramble to find everything. There were stacks of papers. Office supplies galore. Even more than I have now. It was a mess. And what I would do is there were French doors into that office, and I would even shut them just so I wouldn't have to see my office. It was almost like blocking it out. Well, isn't that interesting? Because that was an area of my life that ended up being the catalyst for change and being the disaster, was that whole financial center of my business. So I just want you guys to take a look at it. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it is something kind of interesting to look at. I know people who have their refrigerator hasn't been cleaned out in forever, and they have moldy cheese and nasty leftovers and stuff in there, and they don't keep that clean. Usually people who are like that have a really poor diet, and they're abusing themselves by not nurturing themselves with good food. So let me know what you guys think about that. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it on social media, tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Would love to know how this resonated with you. And if you guys could, hop on over to iTunes, leave a 5-star written review for the show as a thank you to me. It would mean the world to me to be able to do that. This is what helps our show continue to be seen and shown, and for other people to hear these amazing messages and lessons that I work so hard to bring you guys. So please pay it forward by leaving that 5-star written iTunes review. As always, wishing you great health, wealth, and worth. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.